and welcome here to the home of Jan, the smelling sun champion, and Ferrari's biggest fan, and Ferrari's fastest driver. It's time for the second qualifying here this year in this amazing 2024 Formula 1 season. It is time for the qualifying for the Grand Prix proper here in the round 6 at the Miami International Autodrome. And of course, last year we planted it in a pole position. We've just done the sprint for which we also started on pole position. So can we make it 3 out of 3? What do you think? Of course we can! Oh yeah, Sonic Sun Champion, you are so fast! Wow! What a fantastic qualifying session it was. The weather is getting better and better, even though who knows what will happen again for the race. But, this was a very smooth qualifying. Obviously after the disappointments of the sprint, right, when we had the fans watching us, especially at that Hard Rock Stadium, and we had that collision with Verstappen, we really wanted to plant our beautiful Scarlet red Ferrari on pole position over here, so that, we could make the amends right. We've always, qualified on pole position, whether it was the sprint qualifying, whether it was the qualifying, we've always set the fastest lap time, right? So whether it was a Grand Prix or whether it was a sprint, but we haven't won, right? Last year we finished only 17, obviously this year in a sprint only 7. So, I knew that, I was really strong in qualifying, right? And that we have to make it right. Because if we start from the first, if we can make the gap for the first time, create a gap of at least 1 second, which we didn't have in a sprint or the race last year, then I think we can control the race just like we did before, right? We so far, had 5 amazing races. It's 5 out of 5. Going back to Abu Dhabi, that's 6 out of 6, but obviously losing the sprint ended that series. So it was absolutely essential that we planted it on the pole position, right? So from the sprint qualifying, you knew that we haven't been really setting the fastest times over there, right? We again couldn't dip below 1 minute 28 seconds. So, but we did know that for the pole position, it was probably necessary that we would have to set some brilliant lap time, definitely less than 88 seconds, hopefully less than 87 seconds. And, it was a very smooth qualifying, right? So we started with qualifying 1, and we did the first lap. I believe we did 29.2. Then basically, we would be, or 29 flat, rather. We will then improve to 28.6. Okay, great, top the qualifying 1, which was great, right? So we always follow the same strategy, always just use the set of the soft tires. So we would basically go out. Again, that the brand new, the second engine that we were using is definitely working really well, providing us with a bit more power. But when you do it like this way, you come out, you have the out lap, you set in the bunker lap, and then basically, you recharge the battery and you go for, that lap where you can really explore the limits of the track. It was great because then in the qualifying 2, I would know where the limits are, so I said 128.2, then 127.8, so that was great, obviously. And then for qualifying 3, I did 128.0, so I knew that it wouldn't be the fastest lap time of the weekend. And I left it, I still had more than 5 minutes to go, but I just wanted to get out of there because everybody in this beautiful weather, is around the Hard Rock Stadium, around the Miami Gardens over here. And then when I see Jan, the smiling sun champion, Ferrari's fastest driver, and obviously Ferrari's biggest fan over here, planted on the pole position because it's such a popular pole position, and that's exactly what I did. So we will take a look at just how great that lap was. Could have been even a little bit better within the final sector. That lap time, it's pretty much, and the real Formula 1 drivers would be proud of that. I was definitely really happy, and that sets us very well for the race, especially obviously, because we've again managed to save the same set of the soft and the medium tires. So, again, we will have lots of different strategic options. If it's gonna be raining, it won't be that significant, but obviously it's always, important. That you are able to, especially in a sprint where obviously the tire allocation is limited, so it is important that you use the tires wisely for the qualifying, though it's all just the soft tires, so we were able to save them. But here, now is the time to show you how I mastered it when I was over here sitting, or I should say lying in this SF1000T A18 Formula 1 racing simulator, and how beautifully I planted it here for my 3rd Miami pole position. I'm unbeaten here. Yeah, why not? Yeah, it feels great. It's definitely become one of my favorite tracks. Would love to visit it in person, because especially they kind of call it a street circuit, but it is really not, because it winds through the Miami Gardens, right? It winds through some of the amazing features, like for example the marina, right? The Miami Marina looks really nice, and around, of course, the Hard Rock Stadium where the Miami Dolphins of the NFL play. So over here, without further ado, this beautiful Scarlet red Ferrari I make will now be your high definition theater or ultra high definition 4K theater, so that you can see just how great I did. So let's take a look at it, because I'm about to get my pole position trophy. So over here, okay, let me nicely set it up for you over here, and I'll take it here. Okay. So let's take a look at it. So this is Miami, you guys. Fantastic track. Again, fantastic setup. Looks so beautiful, doesn't it? Look at that wheel. Okay, it is ready to plant it on the pole position, right? So over here, are you guys ready? You can see very different conditions to the sprint qualifying. Looks beautiful. And yeah, we wanted to show you the fans over here. All of the fans, they are so excited. You can see I'm almost at 100% battery. I thought I could have done a bit better. We will see what happens with the battery there. But yeah, overall, this is shaping up to be a beauty. Are you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's go on pole position. So it's absolutely critical to be smooth here. Wow, look at this. Nice. And I'm immediately up. That feels so good. Great. The downforce is there. We are 1/10 up. We are going around the podium over here. Oh, yay. And here, 7th gear, 6th gear. Look at that. Here could have maybe gone to the 7th gear, but I've gotten the exit just right. This is so satisfying and so important. I'm purple. Come on, Yannis, purple. FORZA FERRARI. Enjoy. This is Miami. This is Miami, baby. Wow, look at that speed. I'm still having almost 50% of the battery. I should really deploy it more at the beginning, I believe. Not at the end of the straight. And this, I so much struggle with it at the beginning. Here, I was a little bit wide, but I'm purple again. Purple sector 2. Will it be 3 purple sectors? Yeah, still having lots of battery. I think you should definitely use it at the beginning. And here, you gotta make sure you slow down the car. Look at that. I'm in one with the car here. And this was good, bit wide. And is it a pole position? Oh yeah, fastest lap looks 1:27.514. Wow. That is fantastic. And this is how the qualifying for the Miami Grand Prix in the 2024 season finished. Look at this handsome guy, of course. Again, after we returned, of course, from the hiatus, right? And started again racing last year. We took our first pole over here, and yeah, this year it was exactly the same. So take a look how it looks like. So you have Jan Luksha first, 1:27.514. Obviously the reigning world champion Max Verstappen Red Bull once again next to me, but almost a second down. He produced a really good lap time, but it will be critical that we do not let him attack us just like he did in a sprint. And yeah, we can make it right. We can make it clean. We can make sure we simply run away from him, show him who's the champion, who's the real 3-time, about to become a 4-time champion, and we should be fine. Third, Lando Norris, McLaren producing some really good performances this year. Fourth is Sergio Perez, Verstappen's teammate at Red Bull, did a good job, but Perez, just like Russell and I believe one of the Alpines, they've gotten a grid penalty, so he will be out of it. 5, Oscar Piastri, McLaren, he will be promoted to 4th. 6, Charles Leclerc, the reigning champion in a game for Scuderia Ferrari, almost 2 seconds down. Again, we completely destroy him, but he will start 5th. 7, Fernando Alonso, Aston Martin will start 6th. 8, Lewis Hamilton, our future Ferrari teammate, Mercedes-AMG Petronas, obviously will start 7th. 9, George Russell, he will be penalized for Mercedes-AMG Petronas, almost the same time like Hamilton, only 0.007 seconds separated them. And 10, Lance Stroll, he will actually be promoted to 8th, right behind his teammate Alonso in
6th, but again, he was well off the pace. So yeah, this is how it finished. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? And yeah, I cannot wait for the race to start. I'm sure it's gonna be, in Miami, the races are so enjoyable, and I really cannot wait for the race to start. So I hope you enjoy this super fast lap, the qualifying lap, and it feels so satisfying to be on pole position then over here. Okay, so let me put it nicely there. Okay, you should be able to see all of it nicely. Yes, now it's perfectly symmetrical, hopefully. Okay, let's see. Struggling a little bit here. Okay, so for the race strategy, it will be critical, again, we don't know what will happen with the weather, right? So the weather is absolutely critical. But I do believe on the evidence, at least of, for example, the sprint, we should be very strong in any conditions. And that will be absolutely critical. But now, we qualified first, which means it's time for, that's right, our pole position trophy, our golden Olympic medal, obviously from Paris Olympics. Wow, we are so excited about it. Wow. So this is our 5th Grand Prix pole position this year. We are absolutely bossing it over here, and yeah, once you are so confident with the car, and especially, I'm always having such a great balance. The medals are coming, oh yay! Forza Ferrari, I'm so happy! Yes, you belong to me, baby. Look how shiny it is. This is absolutely great. I absolutely love. It's such an achievement. Obviously, some drivers sometimes, only achieve the pole position once, and this is simply a dream come true. I think, I've really matured at the driving at 37 years of age. Obviously, just like Michael Schumacher, hardly make any mistakes. So over here, it will be interesting. I hope you enjoy this qualifying lap. There's so much racing during the sprints. We absolutely love the sprints. The Chinese sprint was, the sprint weekend was great, and here the sprint in Miami is even better. Obviously, they are the 2 new venues for this year. I am really happy that in the F124 you can play exactly, like if you would be a real Formula 1 driver. So, the format is exactly the same, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And, I think we will be very, very strong in a race based on the evidence of the sprint. I hope you guys will enjoy it. I cannot wait. We will obviously take a look at the strategy. We are already in the Parc Fermé. We didn't make any adjustments. So if you obviously watch the sprint, you will already know, that setup is working really well. You definitely have to go for low downforce. Do not go for the high downforce, because, that will be a big, big issue in a race. But yeah, in a qualifying, with both, you are able to fly. And that's the most important. So let's go for our first Miami victory! Of course! So, everybody, this is Jan, the Smiling Sun Champion, the pole sitter of the Miami Grand Prix, my 5th pole out of the 6 Grand Prix qualifying sessions.